Broadcast, Season 3, Episode 2. We alive?
We live.
It's been a... Can you believe it's already almost been, like, a month?
No. Time is passing so fast this year.
February was fat. Like, busy... Okay, wait, how should I say this? Busy, not sweaty busy, but, like... The time went.
Yeah. It went by fast. Real quick. I mean, I already said that, but, like, you blinked and it's gone. I mean... I'm just shocked how this year is just zoom compared to last year. I don't know.
Well, to be frank, I always joked about this, but it's like people think 2021 was New Game Plus 2020, but I actually think 2020 was terrible. 2023
Yes.
would be the next terrible. 2021 and 22 were just kind of like, they're there. But yes, hello everyone. It's been a month now, and we're here to do our next episode, which is kind of a part 2 to what we did. If you guys want to see the first video for gaming, that's all the way back in Season 1. So
Shit, Season 1.
yeah, so
Oh,
please excuse any crustiness.
it's like so long ago.
Let me see. I can look real fast. When was that? The first video game episode came out in December 17th, 2022.
Oh.
2 years.
Oh, 2 years ago this podcast was made.
And it's been rocky ever since, but hopefully now, like we said last episode, hopefully this will be the new us.
Yeah, this will be our year.
So, I don't have too much of an icebreaker to talk about for this, other than I'm excited for my birthday next week, but I'm also excited that next week's only a 3-day work day, 3-day work week for me.
Nice.
Yeah,
Chill vibes. Just go through the day.
Yeah,
the
like
week
I
will
work
be
Monday, Tuesday,
short.
Wednesday.
Oh,
I'm off Thursday, Friday.
just taking a vacation, or?
It's for since March 12th is my birthday, but really I'm not gonna really probably celebrate my birthday, like my party on my birthday. I said, fuck it, let's take Thursday and Friday off, give myself an extended birthday weekend. And I texted my boss, and she's like, oh my god, I am a birthday girly. You need to have this. So I was like, okay.
Say less.
So all she had me do was like our normal timeout or PTO stuff. Did that in 5 minutes, and then she's like, it's on my calendar, and I was like, woo.
Got any big plans for your days off, or?
Not really, if I'm gonna be honest.
No.
I think it's really just gonna be me days. Plus my parents will be coming back that week to celebrate my birthday, so that Thursday and Friday I'll probably just be playing with. I guess this is an important thing because I haven't said this. Okay, guys, between the last episode and this episode, we got chickens.
Oh yeah, the chicken arc.
My God, Rikki, it's been those things right now when we got them as weeks old, like a week old. Holding week-old chicks is kind of scary because they just kind of feel like fluff and bones.
Well, out of nowhere, you just messaged me, you're like, chickens! I'm like, what do you mean chickens? Like, what?
Chickens! They're chunky babies now. I think they're about 2.5 weeks now. And they've already gotten socialized enough to where now if you stick your hand in the bin, they'll run up, jump, and then sit in your hand.
Aw.
So
The train.
It's been fun. Do you have anything that you want to talk about between last episode and now?
I streamed more collabs. I mean, it's been a pretty easygoing couple weeks, in my opinion. I'm working more at work. Like, this old lady called out, so now I have to cover for her. But other than that, I mean, it's been rocking and rolling. I guess I'm messing with Dreamcast, modifying again because my SD card broke. That's fun. That shouldn't be too hard. Although through the research, I think I did this wrong the first time. Or not wrong, but I did it the easiest way possible, when apparently there's a loader you can download which compiles and does all the things for you. I just threw that code on a card and it worked, so I mean... So now I'm like, maybe I should do it this way next time.
I mean, you know what's so... Okay, so I sent out a tweet about this a few, like, days ago. But I don't have it verbatim, but it was like, why do I feel so technologically inept now than I was back in the day? But then I can watch like a 15-minute YouTube video and understand everything.
Right? What is the... Like, what changed in that time, you know?
Well, it's weird, because remember, like, when I started YouTube, like, Christian and I, we scoured the webs, we found computer parts that were compatible and good for each other that also didn't break the bank, and that was my first gaming computer. But it's like, nowadays, it's like, you really want me to try and figure out how to build a gaming computer? Fuck that. I don't got time for that.
No. I mean, not that hard, but I totally get it.
I just think, like, okay, so here's the thing. When it comes to me now, I personally, like, how do I say this? Like, with this like Asus computer that I got and everything, like, I'm not being too picky because it's got NVIDIA in it. It's got a freaky ass Intel core. You know, it's got all like the stuff that, like, not probably your standard person, but someone that's like of higher echelon for computer wants, before being like the subterranean level of like building like the weirdest overpowered PC you can with like neon glowing liquid coolant in it. Like, this is what it is now, but I'm not too picky when it comes to tech anymore. I'm picky when it comes to my phones. You best believe you'll never see a goddamn iPhone in my hand.
Same. Fuck iPhone. I'm not gonna ever use that.
There's a TikTok trend that girls are doing where apparently having an Android phone is a red flag because it says it's poor.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, do you know how much my Z Flip 5 cost? I'm not gonna say, because it hurts my wallet every single time I think about it.
You just hear Minecraft hurt noise. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, like, Androids are not cheap, especially if you get yourself well, now if you get yourself like an S Ultra or whatever, since those are the notes now, where it's like the fold and the flip are easily like $1,000 some $100. So it's not cheap. But I guess to transition for technological wonders of the world, we're doing video games.
Wow, we're making a video game. I'm
gonna need to just put the kibosh on that whole situation there, Ricky. I don't got the time for that.
Oh, if only.
Well, if I did that, it'd be a JRPG, and then just be like, hey, you have up to 6 playable characters, and they'd all be my characters.
I got a good book for you to read after this podcast, actually, speaking of your character.
Oh, I'll take a good thing to read.
It's about a big, giant, like, man inside this RPG world. Well, the thing is, he's tall in real life, and so the game kind of allocates and adjusts to your size. And so he's a freaking titan when he goes into this video game. I'm just like, holy crap, that is Ryan energy. Let me tell Jake about this.
I'll have to read that.
Yeah, just imagine like the Hulk walking around in a normal town, like RPG kind of town. It's really cool. Check it out. I'll have to show you.
So, I guess, I'll just read the introduction that I wrote just so everyone can kind of get a jumping off point with us.
Good idea.
So I just want to say that. So video games have undergone a remarkable transformation from my research only spanning back to the late 90s and early 2000s to now the present day, both in terms of design and culture. And then, you know, we'll go through the journey to explore like the evolution from what I would say humble beginning platforms are, like Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie,
KO the Kangaroo, you know.
Real humble beginnings there.
Rayman 2.
and then like we'll go from there to like beat 'em ups to shooters to now what seems to be the popular thing of vast open worlds, which can be either good or up for controversy depending on how they're done. So
I'm kind of so bored with the open world, I'm not gonna lie. Like, everything's open world now, you know?
And trust me, we'll get into that because there's a key thing with that I want to talk about because, you know, we're going to talk about worlds from older games to now and why things worked and why things haven't worked. So we'll get into it. But let's just start with some classic stuff, Rikki. So let's start with the golden age of like platformers, beat 'em ups, and even like early storytelling games. So I want to say this. So again, since my knowledge is only going to the 90s, I kind of want to go about this with having the idea like we're going to talk about like NES, maybe like Dreamcast, early PlayStation, and early Xbox, and then we'll go up the ladder.
Okay.
So,
yeah. I hope that includes some N64.
Yeah, because I think like the thing that I want to talk about first is I kind of want to talk about like I think the best thing I can talk about, just because I didn't really play like Banjo-Kazooie or anything, but I'm knowledgeable about it, is so we're gonna talk about worlds first, and we're gonna talk about like the development process and everything for it versus now. So, Rikki, like Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Mario 64, all of those have the relative like same art style, right? It's that. It was the sharper, jagged, lower poly models of everything.
Oh, N64 for sure.
So
because that's honestly down to hardware. That's why you have blurred textures, but everything's very actual, true polygon 3D. Whereas PlayStation, I mean, I guess that was technically more sprite based. I mean, it was 3D. Don't get me wrong, but a different kind of 3D.
Different technology to show the renders.
Yeah. Downfall with N64 is honestly just file size. People wanted to make bigger games, so they moved to PlayStation because PlayStation could hold more memory, and that's why they lost Final Fantasy VII, which was going to be made for N64 or Nintendo, whatever new console they were going to do, and they said, never mind, let's go to PlayStation, man. We could put these cutscenes and all. Oh. I mean, that story.
Well, it also kind of is crazy too because it's a big thing for people. I'm sure not a lot of people know about this. You guys may, but it's like that's kind of was the fall of the Dreamcast, where it was kind of like an in-betweener console where it outperformed some Nintendo stuff, but then like Sony and Xbox came out with their stuff, and sadly, I'll say this: Sonic Adventure 2, that game looks so much better on the Dreamcast than it does how it was made for PlayStation, because I think it was the shaders and the way the Dreamcast rendered things made it look better.
The lighting engine in general, like they tried with GameCube for the DX port. A lot of stuff had to be toned down, and heck, even the GameCube version, they look like plastic, right? Like on Dreamcast, they had this texture on there that made them look like they were kind of fuzzy, like a little bit of fur. They got rid of that on GameCube for whatever reason, so they just look like toys. Not a big fan.
It's also funny that you mentioned that because it's something I noticed the difference between Sonic Heroes on the GameCube versus Sonic Heroes on PlayStation, where it's like Sonic Heroes on GameCube, they had like, I noticed this specifically with like spoilers if you've never played Sonic Heroes, Metal Sonic's boss fight at the end of the game, where he looks like he's made of metal in the GameCube version, but then on PlayStation he's like dark blue.
Yeah, that's weird. It's sad about the Dreamcast. Like, I feel like it could have been something more. I believe it came out right around when N64 and PS1 were kind of rocking. So then Dreamcast was like, hey, we're here. And then, like, literally the next year, PlayStation's like, yeah, but we're going to drop PS2 next year. And then they're like, oh, shit, PS2? Oh, no, we didn't plan on a PS2. We kind of just plan on beating Nintendo. We didn't even think of Sony. Oh, shit. And then, it's kind of downhill from there. Then Xbox came out. Yeah, they made a deal with them to put their games on Xbox, which is why you got Jet Set Radio 2 on the Xbox and other games, various games. It's crazy how that all went down, you know? What could have been?
While Nintendo, I will say, has branched out more into like a more mature audience for some things, what I will say is no matter what, like, how do I say this? If you want a lot of like crazy anime games, Sony's got you covered on that. If you want kind of games that are more chill and nowadays you can take on the go with you, Nintendo's got that covered. And then,
Nintendo's been got that covered.
And I feel so bad that I'm going to say this, and this is no shade to Xbox players. If anything, this is kind of more, I feel bad for you guys. Xbox doesn't get anything. And it's so sad that like Xbox like bought all these companies and all these like smaller companies that were like Sony subsidiaries and either fired all of the companies or let so many people go. Like, you know, Toys for Bob, the people that made the Spyro remakes?
Yeah, I heard they're independent now. Like,
yeah, because Xbox sold them. They don't belong to Sony anymore.
That's kind of a good thing though, because they didn't do anything with them other than have them work on like Call of Duty or something, which, ooh, who fucking cares? This isn't 2008 anymore, guys.
Plus, like, honestly, do you know how good like Toys for Bob's work was?
For phenomenal.
Getting like the Crash games remade, getting Spyro's games remade. God, what I would have given for Toys for Bob to be able to do like Jak and Daxter or Sly Cooper, because fucking Naughty Dog ain't touching Jak and Daxter. God forbid, what is it? Like, Sly Cooper's been dead in the water ever since Cenzaro Games doesn't make anything for them anymore.
Yeah. Oh boy, you're gonna have fun editing that. At some point, I turned on my background audio. I turned it back off, but
it's okay. That's why we got. That's why I got the power of editing.
I think that that won't affect unless I'm talking, whenever you're talking. So whatever, it'll be fine. I don't think anyone notice. You'll just mute my audio when I'm not talking. Boom.
Hey guys, call us out in the comments.
Yeah, if he doesn't do that, call it out.
Yeah, call me out because It's funny though. I listen to all these episodes usually before I finally render them. So.
Oh, there you go. Smart, responsible. We love it.
There were things you talked about in the old episodes. I was like, I don't know if that should go in. I'm not really sure about that one. That was a little spicy.
Yeah, let's not get canceled today.
I know. Oh God.
But
I will say this. So remember how I was saying we were going to talk about like worlds back in the day versus now?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like we were talking about with like some technical stuff, with the way worlds looked and all that stuff. Granted, the polygonal looks for a lot of those games back in the day really did kind of aid the art style of, hey, this is a video game. It's a little wonk, but hey, the art style's there, the world's there, and they made what they could with the power of the console.
Yeah, with what they had at the time, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, granted, were some of the worlds empty? Sure, but they had like miscellaneous enemies there. They had places you could climb up, items that you could break, tunnels that you could go through, and then load zones from one area to the next.
That's why typically there was a town area where all the NPCs would be, and then like a kind of air quote open world area where it's like, oh, this is where some monsters are, maybe a human or two. We can't put that many people because we'll kill the RAM on the console, but you know.
Yeah, like you'd have the hub, and then from the hub, like with like Super Mario 64, you got Peach's castle, and then you would jump through the paintings and you'd go to the level, and what was it? Per like each world, I think it kind of differed, but you had like what, 5 to 6 missions for like Super Mario 64.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a while. I gotta be honest, I never actually played Mario 64, but I've seen a lot of videos on it.
Fam, I'm right there with you. The Mario game that I fucked with the most was Sunshine. So
same, I love Sunshine.
So, you know, can't say much. But what I will say is they did what they could with those games back then. And granted, all the zones, let's just call them zones for the overworld, they were small, they were full enough And they gave you the ability to be like, hey, this is a beginner level, and then as you go, oh, these levels get harder, more complicated, trickier. Nowadays, here's kind of the problem. And it's kind of what I'm going to call the Breath of the Wild effect. Where, now, don't get me wrong, Breath of the Wild is a very stunning visual game, right?
Amazing game. Easily, I gotta be honest, that was my first Zelda that I got into. Like, I played Zelda 1 for NES. I knew of Ocarina. It kind of bored me at the time. I'm sure I'll find it amazing now because I'm older. I have more appreciation for older stuff. Anyway, but I played Breath of the Wild and was like, holy shit, this is an experience. This is amazing. I can literally do whatever I want, you know?
But once that experience is gone, it is an empty ass motherfucking world. Like, it's big for big's sake.
Yes. Well, I mean, look at everything after. Fucking Genshin Impact. And every game now has to be open world. Huge, massive world with the illusion of a lot to do, when really half of it's mountains, half of it's canyons, and enemies sprinkled out to annoy you so that you forget how empty it is half the time.
Yeah, because with this, it's like, okay, how do I put this? Because I had a really good thought last night.
I'd rather have a smaller world with more experiences, and you know, than a giant, vast open world. I'm probably only going to explore once or twice, and then I'll just stick to the places I know.
Yeah, because like one bad game that came out from Square Enix was Forspoken. And Forspoken was like, it almost felt like a tech demo that they shoved a pseudo story into. Because I'm not gonna lie, traversing in that game and the visuals of the magic and particle effects and everything was stunning. There's nothing to do in that world once it's done. And you're right, like, it's the same thing where it's like with Genshin Impact, like, there's a few enemies sprinkled out, miscellaneous stuff, and then the repeatable Impact, dungeons.
I do want to correct myself. Zelda does a way better job. Genshin, awful. I feel like you'll just venture out and there'll be nothing for miles, and then out of nowhere a boss just kills you that you didn't even see. Like, what?
And I'll say too, like, like even like, so like Insomniac released Spider-Man 2, and like that's great, right? Like I think like New York City. Oh my god. I got smokers cough right now.
Lay off the Newports, Jake.
I know. If I ever start smoking, drive up to Virginia and sucker me in the face. Just do it, please. But no, like, here's the overarching thing I'm trying to say. Like, I'm currently playing through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which has been an absolute joy of a game. And I think Square has done it pretty well, to where these places are big, Rikki. Like, each zone, like the grasslands, to the coral regions, to the gold saucer, everything in 7 remake. Sorry, Rebirth. There's so many re's.
Respawn, remake, redo.
But like, Rebirth does it in a way that's interesting because there is, it kind of is like enemies sprinkled without, like throughout, but there's still a lot of stuff to do. And it's like, oh my god, you go to the gold saucer, there's all these events, all these people, there's something always happening. And then you go to like Costa del Sol, the beach area, and there's people drinking, dancing, partying, there's fireworks going up, like, and it's kind of still like a linear open world, like there's still paths that you have to take, but the world is full. And I think they literally took everything that they made from Final Fantasy VII Remake 4 years ago and then shoved it into this game and said, let's go bigger. And this might be one of Square Enix's like biggest games. But yeah, like, here's the thing, guys. Big for big's sake can become cumbersome, especially when a game doesn't have like a good way to travel, or like load times take forever. And I'm very happy to say with 7, load times are maybe 6 seconds, and that's a lot coming for a game that, like, I've been playing Rebirth, Rikki, and I'm already like twice over the amount of time it took me to beat Remake. So that says something to the amount of content that they shoved into this game. Granted, actually, I'm gonna let you take a guess right now. How many gigabytes do you think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is?
Oh wow. And gigabytes or terabytes?
Yeah, gigabytes. Gigabytes.
I don't know. 108.
143.
Ooh.
She a chunky girl.
See, I was kind of basing that off Baldur's Gate. Holy shit.
Yeah, 7 is a thick game, and I'm like,
oh.
So there's 20 chapters in this game.
Well,
I've
Witcher
sunk
3
like
was 127.
Yeah, I've sunk 50 hours into this game already, and I'm still only in chapter 13, and there's 20 chapters in this game.
Oh, you're gonna be there a while.
Fam, I am in love with this game though, and I have that many hours in it because I said I've waited 4 years for part 2 of the 7 remakes. I'm getting my money's worth. Plus, there's still post-game stuff where there's hard-ass bosses, so I'm excited. But I guess to go from like the worlds, I kind of want to talk about like further. I want to talk about having an open world versus an immersive world, which I think is what you were kind of going to go into, where it's like you can have a small world and it be super immersive, then have 8 bajillion things to do, but then it's like I can't even go pet a dog.
Yeah, what's up with that? I mean, I think there's actually like an account. I think it was on Twitter. Well, X, I guess now, whatever. But it was like, can you pet the dog or something? It's a whole account based on games, rating them if you can pet the dog or not.
Yeah, like what was it? Ghost of Tsushima lets you pet foxes.
Aww.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth lets you pet the baby chocobos.
Aww.
So it's like, yeah, people want to be able to pet the cute shit, and if you don't let them pet the cute shit, they're gonna instantly you lose you go down to 9 stars.
Oh.
But like, okay, so you know what I can say, even though I know this game has a rocky game history, was Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh my
I cannot
God.
tell you the amount of times and the amount of hours I've spent getting immersed in that world is terrifying.
I want to play it. It looks interesting.
Well, like, now that it's gotten to the point where it's a full game, like, I don't have any crashes, I don't have any issues. It is a really good game. It's just, my heart still kind of goes out for PC players, because while it was made for PC, you still got to have a pretty kicking computer to play that game without your computer going like F-22 Raptor mode. But yeah, like, I've done several playthroughs of Cyberpunk 2077, and I've gone through the DLC Phantom Liberty twice because I just love that game so much, and I really hope that CD Projekt Red wasn't lying when they said they got greenlit to do a Cyberpunk 2, but I know that they said they're going to be doing it on the Unreal Engine. So hopefully it's
More
a bit of a
stable
smoother.
engine. Let's go.
I will say this: I'm kind of sad that every single person's kind of having to go to the Unreal Engine, because that kind of creates a little bit of a monopoly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they own it. Epic Games owns that, don't they? Right?
I think so. Yeah. But like, you know, for what it's worth, I gotta really give CD Projekt Red like their props, because they've made all the Witcher games on the Red Engine. They've made Cyberpunk on the Red Engine. So you gotta give them some props. But I don't blame CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk's flub-ups. I really do blame the higher-ups for that. But, okay. So let's talk about this real fast. Can we talk about linear to open worlds?
Yeah.
So
I mean, lately, there's just a ton of open worlds in games. but I don't feel like all of them are really done well. You know what I mean? Like, they're not as polished, like we said, as Red Dead or Final Fantasy, Breath of the Wild. It's kind of just doing it to do its sake.
Yeah.
But like, what
Where's
what
the
started that? You know what I mean? Like, where?
So what are you talking about? Like big for big's sake?
Yeah. Like, why are we on this trend?
Okay, so I can tell you perfectly because I noticed this when. So I recently replayed through all the Assassin's Creed Ezio games, and I noticed this because I think this is the way game devs want to think about this. If you give the players a bunch of busy work to do along with the story, that pads out the story. But there's a problem with that, where if you have a lot of people who are just going to blaze through the story and not want to do the other stuff, then they only get half a game. Versus, like, let's say this, for example. Jak 2, just because Jak 2 was one of the first linear open worlds that I played, because, you know, you had, like, Haven City, and granted, a lot of missions took place in Haven City.
Jak 2 is so good, sorry. I was just like, oh, the Crimson Guards beating their ass.
Yeah, so it's like, you guys have Haven City, which, if you guys haven't played it, it's kind of the hub world. Missions do take place within the city, but you also will go into, like, the sewers, or you'll go out and teleport to, like, the mining areas, or you'll teleport to the drill site, and those levels become linear. There's an intended path for you to take, there's traversal puzzles, there's enemies, etc., etc. And it's full. Like, you can see where you have to go, there's platforms, there's waves of enemies, and then you get to the goal, a cutscene will play, and then you'll go back to Haven City and the mission's complete. But nowadays, when I started playing Assassin's Creed 2, for example, each Assassin's Creed map, from Venice to Florence to, like, all of those, they were small, compact towns with a lot to do in them, and the chapters kind of... Each town was kind of for an enemy of the Templars, and then you kind of get to... I don't remember when this game even came out, but then you get to, like, Brotherhood and Revelations, where you're in Rome and Constantinople, and those worlds are so big. And what's so bad about it, that I see now as a player, where fast travel just kind of gets unlocked when you visit a town or whatever, is in Assassin's Creed 2, you have to spend money to unlock fast travel points to then be able to fast travel. And if you don't unlock those fast travel points, or you don't beat up the Templar towers to unlock those fast travel points, traveling via horse or rooftop gets stale so fast. And Brotherhood and Revelations worlds aren't even that big. But to go back and forth is so cumbersome. Versus, like, a linear world like Haven City, it's like you'll have 3 missions at a time for each faction of the group. You go do them, they're exciting, they're fun, they're exhilarating, and a lot of times they feel kind of fast-paced and tense, because, Rikki, I'm sure you can agree with me, just for Jak 2's sake, Jak 2 is hard.
I don't think I've ever beaten it, I gotta confess. I played more Jak X Combat Racing, but I never beat Jak 2. I got really close, though. I got really, really close, but I was a kid.
Jak 2 is also one of those things where that game's so good, the only thing that's bad about it is the checkpoints.
Yeah.
Because, like, Jak 1, like Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, pretty good checkpoint system. Jak 3, I think they kind of got the criticism of Jak 2 and said, let's put a checkpoint per every foot, because that's what it feels like with 3. But, yeah, so, I think that's kind of where I want to go to, is, like, Rikki, for back in the day versus now, what was, like, a game in your mind that has some of the best linear level design, and then coming to today, a game that you think has some of the best open world design?
Oh wow, that is a tough one. because I haven't played a lot of games lately. I guess, does linear mean like the whole game it's long and linear, or could it be a short game with linear?
It can be like a Conker's Bad Fur Day-ism, where it's like you kind of like go. You can either kind of go from, because I think Conker, you kind of go from like level to level. But it also could be like Mario 64. Like I think that's linear open world, but it's kind of like every level is kind of different. It's not exactly like just a path.
I guess my favorite linear game would be Portal 2, right? But
oh yeah, that counts.
My favorite open world, like, this is gonna sound really weird. I really liked Saints Row 2.
No, I can understand that.
That was like my favorite open world game. But obviously I played better ones now. Like I played a bit of Spider-Man 2. I played recently. I don't know. There's another one, but it loses me. But yeah, I guess Saints Row 2 was like where
Saints Row 2 on Steam?
It might be. I know Evolution's shut down now.
Oh my god, Saints Row 2 is on computer. I might have to buy it for a computer.
It's really fun if you just like, if you like Cyberpunk, even with all of its buggy mess, you'll like Saints Row 2. That's because that was the Cyberpunk at the time, in my opinion. It was very goofy, the physics were wonky, and it was just fun, you know?
Well, Saints Row 2 also, like, here, how do I say this? Saints Row 2 was more akin to what it was drawing inspiration from, which is GTA. And I'm talking more like Grand Theft Auto 4, San Andreas, because definitely like Saints Row 1 was like the player, and that was definitely like more inspired by GTA 4.
Mm-hmm.
Or not 4, whatever. San Andreas is like an epiphany. 4 is with Nico. But like, and then you have Saints Row 2, which was like kind of a really screwed up story. Like there's some screwed up deaths for the gang members and the Saints. Like, what was it? Carlos getting dragged on the back of the truck via a chain.
That was so messed up. That literally, the moment that happened, it like hit me gut-wrenchingly. I'm like, oh, Carlos, no, like that was our buddy.
Plus, it's like, guys, I've searched this up many times. No matter what you do, no matter how many times, no matter how fast you complete that mission, Carlos always has to die.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
And it sucks. But I will say, you can tell that the boss didn't take that kindly when he shoved that like tattooed guy's girlfriend in the back of a car and he crushed her.
Mm-hmm.
Saints Row 2 is dark. Like 3 compared to 2, 3 is like a Saturday Night Live version of Saints Row.
Yes, it is the take all the seriousness out of 2 and just make it goofy. Not to say there's not serious moments in 3, but I don't know, like, which one had the I need a hero ending with the wrestler guy?
That's 3.
Yeah, that was probably the coolest, like, ending. But 2 was more trying to be like Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion, like, have the serious story and with a little touch of goofiness, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Saints Row 2 still has fun moments, but, like, by the end, it really does, like, the Saints kind of start to get humbled a little bit. And it's like, okay, I see how this is going. Got it. And then, like, 4 kind of is just a little too crazy. Like, I love Saints Row 4. I do. I think there's good aspects of it. God, is it stupid. And then, listen, you can hate on Saints Row 3 and 4 all you want, but none of y'all can say it's as bad as the reboot.
The reboot was so bad, I didn't bother buying it. You know what I mean? Like, it looked so bad.
That world is so pretty. It is so empty. Like, you want empty, that game. Even after all the patches that Valation put out, empty. It was so boring. Like, and then I go back to like...
A good example of having a big-ass world. Nothing really to do in it. Like...
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5 was good about that. Like, yeah, it's a giant city, but there's always an NPC doing something. And don't get me started on the GTA RP servers. You know what I mean? Like...
Oh, yeah, like, I loved GTA 5. Do you remember how many fucking streams Christian and I did of it, where it would just be us running around and like...
So many.
And
I was there all the time.
And here's the thing too, it's like, granted, I'm not happy that Rockstar is having people have a comeback to office mandate. I kind of get it because, you know, GTA 6 is coming out literally next year. So I think they're kind of... I don't think they plan too well. They might be time crunching a little bit. But I do feel like the mandate back to office is going to hurt them a little bit because not everyone's going to want to go back to office.
No. Everyone's going to want to work at home.
But
they're worried about leaks, I'm sure.
Oh, God. That's why... And, like, here's the thing I'll say. Like, maybe once GTA 6 is off, they'll let people go back to working at home. But it's like... I won't even lie to you guys. So many people are shitting on GTA 6 because they don't think it's going to be as good as 5. And... I can understand that because GTA 5 has been on almost as many consoles as Skyrim has been on ports.
Yeah, it's been out for a long time.
2013, baby.
Woo.
But it's like don't shit on a game before it's out because that's kind of like in college or high school where you're like, I'm going to do bad on a test. And I'm like, y'all are already setting yourselves up for failure. And it's like, come on, people. We're going back to Vice fucking City in modern day instead of like
excited.
What? Like what, Rikki? Vice City's original game takes what? Place in the 80s?
Yes, the first one.
Yeah, so it's like, guys, don't shit on the game too hard before it's out. And you know what's funny? I love the Rockstar devs coming out and saying, like, why didn't you guys give us the entire United States? And they're like, okay, here's what we could have done. We could have given you guys a United States-sized game, but it would have taken longer. The world would have most likely been more empty because there's only so much we can do for a game versus let's give you guys... I think kind of... But like, okay, how do I say this? I think Vice City is kind of like if you took... Miami, Daytona, a little bit of like Orlando's sort of bayou area, swampland.
Oh, they're definitely going for an Orlando vibe. I can tell.
Yeah, and then like a little bit of the Panhandle, and that's it. That is, and then you kind of have like you have like the Florida Keys, which is like that strip that kind of is at the bottom of it with the airport and all that. But like, guys. I don't want Rockstar to ever make a United States-sized game. I just want them...
If anything, have the key cities. New York, Los Angeles, Miami, question mark.
Oh, you could get fucked up also in, like, Houston or, like, Austin, Texas.
Well, hear me out. What if there was an airport, let's say in Vice City, and you could fly to the old GTA 5 map, and boom, you're in GTA 5. But with the new Grand Theft Auto 6 engine. You know what I mean?
And I wouldn't put it past Rockstar to upscale some stuff. Could you like, and you know what'd be funny too is if like, even to a lesser degree, imagine like it's like, oh, you have to take a mission back to Los Santos, but it's like a confined area, but you can see like all this upscaled stuff.
I would love that. I would love that. I mean, it probably. God, we were complaining about file sizes. Imagine how big that's gonna be.
Oh God.
Sheesh.
I mean, granted though, to Rockstar's credit, they've been pretty good after all their GTA Online stuff, keeping the compression file size down of GTA 5. Like, that's pretty impressive. Like, here, hold on. I'll ask a question to my phone so you all can hear this. What is the current file size for GTA 5?
According to Game Champions, the GTA 5 download size for Windows is around 100 gigabytes.
Which, like, 100 gigs, Rikki, that's not bad.
No. Could be far worse.
It could be Call of Duty, where all their updates are uncompressed 90 gigabyte files. I'm not joking.
Whew. Woo.
But I'll say this. Can I say that it is a little melancholy to leave Los Santos after, like, I have so much time invested in that city?
2013, you know? You've been there for almost a decade, right?
Yeah. over a decade. It's
Over a decade.
2024.
Yeah, holy. Oh my god.
And the game doesn't come out till next year in 2025. So it's like, it's bittersweet because like we need to move on. Like Rockstar has, and like the voice actor for Michael and Franklin came out and they literally said like the reason why they never went on to 6 was because the cash flow for Resident Evil 2 and GTA 5 was making them money. But
Resident Evil 2?
not Resident Evil 2.
I was like, wait a minute.
Red Dead 2. What's kind of sucky too is a lot of people shit on Rockstar and they're like, they haven't made a game since GTA 5, but then Red Dead 2 came out after, and Red Dead 2 is Rockstar's biggest map. Like, I don't know how much bigger it is than Los Santos, but it's significantly bigger. And I don't know if it's like that because you only travel by horseback, or if it actually is bigger, but it feels bigger. So I guess we'll go on to the very last topic that I think you'll kind of go into, Rikki, because this might hit you a little bit with your 90s and early 2000s stuff. We're going to go with, we already kind of talked about workplace dynamics, and I don't really want to go on that because we could go all about how like companies are making their workers crunch harder, work harder, like games are coming out half-baked and then getting patched galore once they're out. We could go into that, but I think, honestly, you can search up a YouTube video and fall down that rabbit hole so easy. What I want to talk about is good old early 2000s marketing with, like, Tony Hawking commercials, Jack and Daxter's CGI trailers with people superimposed in the Haven City. I want to talk about that stuff. Where did that marketing go? Versus now we just got cheap ass, let's have PlayStation and then show game trailer.
It's because MTV back in the day, like, you know, the skater vibe and the whoa, play it to the extreme. Like even Nintendo, Play It Loud, they had that whole campaign of like edginess. Yeah, it was the skater demographic, the early 2000s, you know, and Jackass and all this other stuff going on. You had to get the kids' attention. Now it's just like, oh, you're on your phone and you like minimal stuff. Here's the game. Okay, we're done. There's the marketing.
Which sucks because like
lame.
Because like if you guys look up like old stuff, you'd have people like there's like a what is it? It's like a trailer for a Crash Bandicoot game where like it's like a couple in a movie theater watching the Crash trailer, and then Crash comes, it's like a person in a mascot suit of Crash holding a flashlight busting them for making out and stuff, and it's just like, where's that quirkiness? Or it's like Rikki, do you remember the Jack X Combat Racing stuff where like Jack like tricks out a guy's car and then it like turns into like a Jack X vehicle, and then the guy like thinks he hits the gas, but he hits one of the rocket launchers and blows up his neighbor's house?
Why can't we have stuff like that anymore? Oh, too violent? Like what?
Oh my god. By the way, since the next episode I plan on talking about is TV, oh bitch, I plan to talk about the Avatar live action that's come out and them getting rid of certain things because wokeness.
Wait, what'd they get rid of?
Okay, so they got rid of Sokka's sexism that he gets humbled by Suki on Kyoshi Island.
Aww.
They got rid of that. They said, we're not going to make Aang be a child who wants to explore the world. We're going to make him more serious. And they do. And it's sad. And then it's like, it's really only a mini series. So you don't even get the full thing. It's just like, they go so fast from the South Pole to the North Pole, and then it's like the Siege of the North, and then that's it.
It's pretty bad when a couple LGBT people are complaining about wokeism.
Well, there's being
there's being progressive, and then there's just doing it to do it. I know.
Well, we also talked about, it's like there literally is being like, there's being progressive, there's being mindfulness, but then there's, yeah, it's going too far where it's like Sokka's sexism was supposed to be controversial. I can't tell you a single person that probably didn't find Sokka annoying that he was criticizing his sister, who, for all intents and purposes, the fact that she was even able to teach herself waterbending to even like catch a fish, that's pretty talented.
Yeah, I'll say.
But then Sokka shits on her because he can't be this macho masculine man that like...
I'm kind of just tired of everything having a live action reboot, you know what I mean? Like, oh, do you like this Disney classic? Now it's live action. Oh, did you like Cowboy Bebop? Now it's live action.
I won't lie, I share the sentiment that my friend Kevin shares where it's like, stop remaking shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a hypocrite for playing...
Ideas.
Like, I'm a hypocrite for playing the remake of 7, right?
True.
But I've never experienced 7. And to be fair, this is a much prettier version to experience 7 in. But, stop remaking stuff and make new stuff. Like, I get it. It is hard to sell new IPs. But, like, I'm looking at, like, the BioShock people making, oh my god, what is the game called? I forgot what it's called. It's a very pretty game. Let me see real fast. I want to get its title because I think even you should look it up, Rikki. It's really pretty. BioShock dev new game. Let me see real fast. It is called Judas.
Judas? Let me look this up.
Yeah, look it up. So Judas is a new title that's coming out by the people that made, you know, BioShock 2, Infinite, and basically Judas kind of keeps that same sort of weirdness that comes with all the BioShock games, because if you've never played a game made by the BioShock devs, there's always like a hidden message or an overall message of the game hidden in the wonk. And now, we can't really tell, but all I know is Judas is tackling the last sort of frontier that the BioShock devs never took. Because what, Rikki? BioShock 1 and 2 take place underwater. BioShock Infinite takes place in the sky. And then Judas takes place in space.
Oh, I mean, you can't... even with, like, BioShock, you can't escape the ocean, you know what I mean? Infinite, how are you going to escape the sky? You know, that's hard. I mean, it can be done. Both of those. Space?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because I believe, like, the whole point of Judas is, like, everyone's on this, like, international space station thing that's, like, I think it's kind of like an arc for people, or it's, like, an amusement place, but it's, like, gone bad. And I think that's the whole premise, is, like, you're this female protagonist trying to escape and all this stuff. But, it's like, I'm proud that the BioShock devs have done that. I'm proud that CD Projekt Red made Cyberpunk 2077's video game. I am, like, how would I say this? And I'm even in, like, happy with, like, Square Enix, right? Like, Square Enix has, like, I know they have Final Fantasy XIV's Dawn Trail coming out, so that's just a continuation to a game. You have the scary thing now where you have Kingdom Hearts 4, which is Square Enix's next arc in the Kingdom Hearts, so that's going to be a really hard sell to get old and new players to get into. But those are new games. Those are like new titles. But when you keep remaking, like they remade what? Silent Hill. They remade almost all the Resident Evil games. It's like, guys, I get it's scary.
We're in the decade
Make
of the
new
remakes.
stuff. Oh, Rikki, we've been in the stage of remasters and remakes for almost 2 decades now.
So done with it. I remember in 2016 we were complaining about this.
We were,
But
and
never to this extent. Like, it's the worst right now.
yeah, and it's like, here's the thing. I was excited back in the day when it's like, oh my god, right? Like, you can buy Jak and Daxter and then Sly Cooper and Ratchet and Clank all on one CD. But now it's like, okay, it's kind of lost its luster. I don't really care. And here's kind of the sucky thing. I really didn't like Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch's newest game, because I'm over feudal Japan stuff. I was not a fan of Ghost of Tsushima. I found it pretty boring, and like that also kind of felt like big open world for big open world's sake.
That's fair. I can see that.
Versus like what? Like Insomniac, right? Coming out with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That was so good. And they went back to Ratchet's classic style where he's like sassy and smart and all this stuff versus his movie counterpart for that like 20-something game movie game that came out where Ratchet was fucking stupid. So it's like, I just want new stuff. I think the player, like all these players want to get lost in stuff because like right now, like Rikki, I'm sure you've played the original Final Fantasy VII.
I have. Yes, I have sunk many hours into it.
So you know like the overall story of it.
Yes, it's been a while, but like, I mean, who doesn't?
I don't.
What?
I know the beginning with Midgard stuff. I know about the Black Materia. I know about, spoilers for anyone, don't listen, Aerith's death, and then...
What? No.
and then Sephiroth in his fight. I know the key stuff. What happens in the middle to lead up to that, I don't know. So it's like, you can understand like my bewilderment and wonder where I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah, that's literally like just what the fuck is happening, getting lost in the world, because I was telling Christian too,
That's
not
a good
to bring
feeling I wish I could have with that game. It's just that honest, like, what?
Yeah, because like
when you're playing, they changed a lot of story elements, I think.
You know what's funny? They did it in the first game, but really, my cousin says beat for beat, they're still following the same thing, but there are changes.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of weird because, how do I say this? The Whispers have changed stuff for the first game. They prevented some deaths. They allowed some deaths. And now that... It's even funny, too, that I can tell you this. So, you know, like, with Aerith, she's always kind of led on that she knows more than she's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
You know her holy materia, right? The thing that basically allows us to stop Sephiroth from destroying the world.
Right.
So... the one in our universe, because all of Aerith's memories have been stolen away by the Whispers, it's not white anymore, it's clear. But then the Aerith that's in Zack's timeline still has the white materia. So how do we stop Sephiroth if Aerith doesn't have the white materia? I'm scared. But, yeah, it's like, I love 7. It's been so great. And not to bring GTA 5 back up for the end of the episode, but it's like, do you know what it was like to go on GTA Online? Like, my cousin and I, we played GTA Online before we even played the actual story of the game. And do you know how crazy it is just to drive around in GTA 5? Because that's how you unlock more of the map, is just driving around and exploring. Mm-hmm. And, like, getting lost in the ravine of Mount Chiliad, getting lost in the forest, going to Paleto Bay, getting lost in the ghetto section of Los Santos, going to the airport, the Santa Monica Beach area, all that stuff. Do you know how awesome that was the first time?
Oh, it was so satisfying. So fucking satisfying.
And it's like, I remember even playing like Saints Row 3 and getting lost in Steelport. Yes. And it's just like, you don't get that when it's like, yeah, we got a prettier version of a game in a remake, but, or like a remaster, but you know the like the beats and the steps, and really it's like, okay, you know, it's cool, it's wow, but at some point you're just like, give us something new. And I'll say, like, just overall, I'm happy that Rockstar is making GTA 6. I'm happy that it seems like a lot of new IPs are coming out this year. And I'm really excited for one game coming out called Stellar Blade. Which,
Stellar Blade?
Yeah, if you look it up, I mean, it's like anime babe, tits and ass central. But it reminds a lot of players of the Nier Automata game. And I'm here for that.
Oh, I still gotta play Nier Replicant.
That's also a really good game. A lot more fucked up and sad than Automata in my mind, but really good still.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about Automata, and I'm sure it's good, but just from playing Replicant, like where I am now, I can tell some horrible shit's about to go down, and I'm not sure what. It's just that unnerving vibe, you know what I mean? Like, oh.
Well, here's the thing. It's always kind of the sad thing. When you play a Yoko Taro game, it's always going to end in a tragedy because he loves hurting his player base.
Oof.
But,
It's a glutton for punishment.
I guess, I don't know, Ricky, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything in the video game episode that we haven't hit that, like, since this is a part 2 to our video game series, is there anything else you want to mention before, I guess, we close everything out?
I have a fun little question.
Yeah.
What is the best video game controller in your opinion? The most comfortable, the most ergonomic, has plenty buttons. Like, if you were to pick a controller to use for the rest of your life, out of the current consoles and the older ones, what would it be?
PlayStation 5. Easy.
You know, I don't own one, but from what I've seen PS5, I probably would pick that. Because it takes everything from the PS4 and just makes it more comfortable.
Like, okay.
More heftier too. Like, the PS4 controller is light.
Okay. Ricky, I want you to do something for me real fast.
Yeah.
On your computer, open a browser up. Do Xbox Series X versus PS5 controller. Just do that for me real fast and look how similar they are.
They're super similar. But I prefer the boobies, the joysticks at the bottom. I just prefer that.
For me, it's like so I found my Xbox 360 controller and I love playing with that. But here's my only gripe when it comes to the Xbox controller. My only gripe from a PlayStation player that usually plays with a DualSense. God, I hate Xbox's bottom triggers.
I hate their bottom triggers and I hate their fucking D-pad.
Yeah, I don't like the... Yeah, you know, I'll say that. This is a problem that I had and why I don't... I was trying to play Final Fantasy XIV on my computer with the 360 controller, and here's why I couldn't. Was because I kept hitting the wrong button because Xbox 360's, like buttons are, like... You have, like, the up, down, left, and right, but then you have, like, the weird, like, circle part where they, like, have the diagonal that you click down. I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to hit. I'm trying to be very poignant, and that's why I like Sony's directional keys that are all separate from each other, because you won't accidentally hit something. That is a very big pet peeve of mine when I'm trying to play very exact. And, again, don't get me wrong. I have played with the Xbox Series 1 controller. I played with the Xbox Series X controller. I love them. They are good controllers. I just don't like how deeply you have to press the triggers on the Xbox controllers. And also, I don't know, maybe it's a gun game, because I know Xbox is like the mother of all gun games.
Oh, all the FPSs and yeah.
But it's like, maybe that's why they made their, like, triggers like those long linear ones instead of the thick back buttons.
They might have, just for the little, like the satisfaction of pulling a trigger of a gun. Like,
it kind of does simulate that, doesn't it?
I feel like with PlayStation, they're more going for, like, car enthusiasts. Like, you know, you're slowly hitting the gas, you know. And there's more
well, especially with,
the control. What?
Well, especially with Sony having those adaptable triggers that will put tension against your finger.
Yes. It really...
So...
That's always how I thought as a kid. I'm like, oh yeah, Sony, they're more about car games. Well, this is like PS2 era. More about car games. And a little bit of shooty games, but not so
Gran
much.
Turismo, baby!
Oh, man. I love that.
I still felt so bad for Brad playing those games, because, what is it? Gran Turismo 1 and 2 have terrible driving controls and rubber band AI, but, like, Gran Turismo 3 has still that rubber band AI, but, ooh, driving in that game, ooh, so good.
What's 3 on? Maybe we should grab it.
3 is on PlayStation 2, I think, or PlayStation 1.
I have to get it. I was probably PS2, because I think... Did we play 3? Or was that 2?
I don't remember. I don't think you guys played 3. I thought it was just 2.
me check it out. All right.
I can't remember.
Fill the dead
but,
air while I look.
But
okay, yeah, we played 3. That was for PS2.
Okay. Yeah.
We played
okay.
2
So.
and then 3, but not 4.
By the way, speaking of Xbox, did you hear that they want to get rid of like all their exclusivity to put like because they don't make enough money apparently, and they think if they made more money just like releasing all their games. But I'm like, how do you guys think you're gonna make more money if you release all your exclusivity? Granted, I think exclusive games are stupid. I do. And that's coming from a Sony player that gets all these Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, anime games. I do think it's stupid that there's like so much exclusive content for PlayStation. And to be frank, PlayStation's getting sued a lot because of like all of Sony's kind of scummy bullcrap. But it's like, do you know what racing game that's on Xbox I would love to have on PlayStation?
What's that? What game?
Motherfucking Forza.
Forza. Ooh.
Forza
like
is
Forza.
so pretty. And I'd love to have that.
Boy,
But
soon if Xbox does this thing.
yeah. Here's the thing too. When I said this at the top of the episode, I'm not trying to shit on Xbox because I'm a Sony fanboy. No. I've played on computer, I've played on Switch, I've played on Wii, I've played on PlayStation. My bad thing that I feel so bad for is like, Rikki, if you look at the amount of games that came out on PlayStation for PlayStation 4, and then you look at all the games that came out for the Xbox One, there is a major disconnect. Because in the last era for Xbox, it was kind of like show don't tell Xbox players that all these games are coming out. And then with PlayStation, it's like God of War, what? You had like, oh god, I'm trying to think of like all the games. God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead 2, oh god, there's so many games that came out on that. Nier Automata. You had like all the Sims content. You had like Blaze Blue, Tekken stuff. You had so much crap coming out on Sony. You're lucky that my wallet didn't get bled through. But then you look at Xbox, and I'm like, I feel so bad for Xbox players where it's like, yeah, they get the FPS games, and maybe like a Resident Evil game here and there, but they didn't get a lot, and I feel bad. And then like you have all my friends that are like Alec would come over all the time, and I'd show him this cool game, and he's like, is it on Xbox? And I'm like, no.
Poor Alec.
And I'm like, I feel so bad, because like, he asked me, he's like, because I don't know, actually, what consoles is FF7R on? PlayStation 5 and Windows. So Xbox doesn't even get Final Fantasy 7. Do you know how much it has to suck? Goddamn.
I just
Xbox...
try to... I honestly don't do console exclusivity. Like, I have an Xbox 360. I have a PS3. If I'm into the games, I'll buy the console. It's really as simple as that.
Yeah, and I mean, theoretically, I have a pseudo Xbox because of Steam.
That's true. PC
so
now
it's
can
like,
play Game Pass. I mean, I guess it could
yeah.
for a while, but the Game Pass literally has every game on Xbox now. Well, almost, you know.
Yeah, and it's like if you have a computer that can run the games, like I have a 70 in this bitch. She can run probably a lot of last gen games. So it's like I feel bad because like people who are literally locked to the Xbox console just feel like they kind of get the scraps, and then PC players and PlayStation players kind of get like the full-on experience, because like most likely if a game's coming out on PlayStation, it's coming out on Steam. So I feel bad, but yeah, to just harken back to your thing, I do think the PlayStation 5 controller is the comfiest and the best. I will say this though. I'm gonna get real close. So Rikki, I'm sorry for your ears.
Okay.
Game devs, I swear to God, fix fucking stick drift. Because that's the only bad thing about the PlayStation 5 controllers is stick drift.
Did you know the Dreamcast controller has almost no drifting?
Well, you know what's weird? So PlayStation 2 never had stick drift, though I did break an analog stick, but that was because I was a young kid and I threw tantrums and threw controllers. My PlayStation 2 controllers, granted to Sony, strong ass controllers.
I slammed my PS3 controller on the ground once because I was so pissed as a kid.
But it's like I think I did have stick drift on a PlayStation 4 controller, but I think that's because I quite literally I was holding it in my hand, like leaning on the rail, looking down at my mom who asked me a question, and my hand just got weak for a second and it dropped and it fell right on the analog stick. So I don't blame Sony on that one. I blame myself. But PlayStation 5 controllers do have terrible stick drift. So I'm hoping Sony fixes that because, that's very bad. And I swear if this purple controller that I get has that happen, I'm going to get what's called the PlayStation 5 Edge controller, which is kind of like their Pro controller. And what's so cool is if one of your sticks develops stick drift, you literally can just flip up the section where the analog sticks are and pull it out and put a new one in. And like the analog sticks only cost like $5.
Whoa, what? Send me that.
Yeah, I'll try to send it to you once we finish. But it's really helpful because a lot of like when you get up in like big gaming, a lot of players really want to try to control like every minute detail that they can of their games, and the Edge controller is one of them, just kind of like the Xbox Pro controller. But yeah, Rikki, is there anything else you want to say? Because I think I've said everything for the video game episode that I've wanted.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, if you're enjoying the podcast, consider giving us a like.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can say that. I can do the fun outro. Yeah, if you guys like this episode, please like, subscribe, hit the bell. Please follow me and Rikki's channel. Link will be on the end card here for the podcast.
And if you have any topics you want to suggest, please let us know in the comment section down below. We read every single one.
Oh my god, if we finally get people who like give us some comment suggestions for topics, I'll go in. Like, if you guys don't get to see the podcast list that we make, but like I do extensive research.
This boy does all the fucking research. I got
so
a whole
hard.
paragraph here. Multiple paragraphs with bullet points and like little sub. Oh, it's huge.
I try so hard.
Here, we'll flash like an image of your list here.
Yeah, I'll just like superimpose like a quick screenshot from mine and Rikki's Telegram just so you guys can get like a kind of an idea of how it is. Jeez. But yeah, so we're gonna try to figure it out. I know that TV and movies is something that I really want to cover, but I'll see, because usually I kind of get like an epiphany for the next podcast topic between this and the next episode. So I gotta stop having those 3 a.m. like I'm high as fuck third eye moments, Rikki. I gotta stop having them. I'll never
stop. You can't stop me. I'm always gonna have high thoughts.
God, by the way, I just gotta say this for a little extra tidbit for you guys, Rikki. I got these grape gummies.
Ooh.
And I didn't realize. So I do indica usually because that is better for me. Yeah. I got, what is it, sativa or something? Yeah. Oh, that fucked me up. Because indica is the body high. I think sativa is the head high. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was watching my fan and drooling on myself.
Oh no.
And I didn't realize what the milligrams were for one of them. They said take half a gummy if you're a lightweight.
That's what I
took
do.
A full one.
Oh no.
Rikki,
I honestly sometimes will do a quarter because I'm just like, oh, I want to be functional but also high.
I want to be functional. No. You shut up, because my favorite thing, guys, you guys gotta watch this. Try to go back on Rikki's channel and find like one of the first 2 KO episodes where Rikki took a gummy but then also had energy drinks. Holy shit. It is the best thing ever.
I don't even know if that's still on the channel, actually. That was so wild, I might have unlisted it. But it was crazy.
I just remember the episode that I joined you in because I don't think a lot of people were watching you stream at the time, and I came in.
It was like 5 people.
And you were streaming KO, and you were doing that paragliding section through the lava.
Oh my god. I remember ending the stream because I was out of breath. I was just like,
I just remember I came on, like, I just budged myself in. And I was like, what's up, bitch? And you're just like, I'm dying. But,
You said same.
yeah. Oh my gosh. I think I woke up from a nap hungry. I think I was eating Taco Bell when I called you, and I was just like, this is the best thing ever. But, I guess that's it. I'm going to let you all go for the day. But yeah, if you guys like this, please like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell so you guys will be notified when I upload. Please go check out Rikki's channel. Rikki's dropping quality content like, God, like, feels like 5 to 10 things per month.
I've upped the quality, I guess, and the quantity. Like, I streamed twice this week, technically. I did a little music stream, and then Monday I did a lethal stream.
That music stream was so fun just because it was yesterday, like, and, you know, it was a Saturday, it was chill.
It was in the afternoon, too, versus nighttime.
Yeah, so it was nice.
I might do those more, I don't know.
I mean, it was fun to listen to. Plus, you literally took a song that was like nothing and made it into something, so.
Oh, I have something to show you later. I got a full song fledged out of that. I wish I live streamed that part, but anyway, maybe next time.
But yeah, I guess we will see you guys next time, and maybe if we decide, if we find time, we might try to do another episode this month, and if we don't, we will see you guys in April.
My birthday month.
No, oh, that's your birthday month?
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm gonna have to get you a birthday gift.
Aww.
I'll have to figure something out. I think I have an idea. Could you? Oh my god. Imagine. I'd feel so bad for your sister if like a package came, she opens it up, and it's just a giant floppy gold dildos with a base and balls.
I walk by, I'm like, oh, sorry, that's mine. Alright. Just leave.
She's like, yep. You're like, I know who that's from. Rikki over here, dilating on the daily.
Oh my god. We're both dilated when we do this podcast, let's be real. Good night, everybody.
Could you imagine, like, the entire... Oh no, I'm gonna save this for after. Guys, we gotta go. I'll see you guys next time.